Good morning. I'm sitting here with my Ball Blue Book that I've had for about 30 years, double checking my salsa recipe and the time that it's going to take to process the pints today. So just in case you're tuning into this video first, this is part 2 of making salsa. Yesterday we made fresh salsa and enjoyed it with our dinner, but today I'm going to process and can the remaining salsa, and I thought I would video that. So this is part 2. So in my recipe, most everything is the same: tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, cilantro, salt. The only thing that is different is that this calls for vinegar, and I believe that they add that to this just to make sure that the acidity of the tomatoes is high enough. They call for a great deal, which I will only add about a quarter cup to my recipe. It'll probably make about 4 or 5 pints, so that'll be ample per pint to get the acidity up. It's the method that I've used in the past and it works, so that's what I'm going to stick with. So stay tuned as I begin the process. So you can see I have gathered all my necessities: funnel, my rings, my jar getter, a fork to get the lids that are on the back burner simmering, a towel to place the hot jars on, a damp cloth to wipe. This is my water bath canner, and in it are my jars in hot water, which I'm going to turn that from low to high. And then the salsa, which I took out of the refrigerator earlier this morning, and we'll put it up on high and bring it to a boil. It's just starting to simmer a little bit. I like it to come to a good boil, not necessarily a rolling boil. We'll give that a few more minutes. I really like these to be almost boiling once we get started. It is boiling. Let's see, when I stir it, stops. So what I'm looking for is starts to bubble like that in a stir and it doesn't stop boiling. At that point, I will set the timer for 3 minutes. So close. Yeah, it's starting to bubble back again. All right, we'll set the timer for 3 minutes. Okay. All right, we're ready to roll. Okay, you've been watching for a minute, so maybe you can see the process, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with. Have a hot jar ready. Give it a stir. I usually fill it up to the bottom line of the funnel. There are different requirements for different jars and substances that you're canning. I think it requires at least a ½ inch of head space, which that's perfect. So I go ahead and get another jar. Dump a little water back in there. The rest I dump in the sink. Otherwise, when I dunk my jars, the water would overflow. Move my funnel to the new one. Make sure the rim is clear. Get a lid out of the hot water and cap it very tight. As tight as I can get it. Put it in the hot water bath. Fill the next jar. We're almost to the end here, so hopefully this will fill this one up. Now I'll lower the jars into the kettle and set it to boil. While I was in the middle of filming the last segment, my timer went off, my alarm, for a haircut appointment, like in 30 minutes. So I had to leave and let Rain finish up the canning process. So here I am with a fresh haircut. All she did was, when the water bath came to a rolling boil, she set the timer for 15 minutes and let them boil for 15 minutes. When the timer beeped, she lifted out the jars and then put a cover over them. You do that to keep any drafts from the air conditioner from suddenly changing the temperature, which can affect the pressure in the closing of the jars, the sealing of the jars. So anyway, what we have here is 5 pints of salsa. Now the canner holds 7, and I always run it full, so I had a couple of extra jars in there just in case, but I ended up with 5 pints, which is great. 1 jar did not seal, which, well, it sealed just then, so good. If you ever have any jars that don't seal, just wait till they cool, stick them in the fridge, and use those first. The other ones have a nice tight seal, and when they fully cool, I'll loosen the bands and store them in my pantry. So that's it. It's that easy. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, just post in the comments, and thank you for watching. See you next time.